Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. We are at a new salvage yard today, a new self-serve salvage yard. We've never been here before. I didn't even know this one existed. We just came from a different pull apart and that one kind of really sucked today. So we're like, let's just find something that's close by, see if there's anything that we haven't seen. And this one's like a scrap yard and all kinds of stuff all together. So we're gonna check it out. It's not really as organized as many of the other ones. I think it's ran by like, family owned one. So we're gonna walk through it. Hopefully we find some cool stuff. So let's see. That's actually a really nice color on this Volkswagen. Fully stripped. The whole interior's out. The body is mostly there. It doesn't even seem like it's badly damaged. Man, this actually, I wonder why it was over here. The engine's still in it, transmission's still in it. It's manual. This probably was a nice car. I really love this color. This is gonna be kind of hard to pull any parts off of this if we were really looking for something from here. Man, that's a really cool cab over. Something about cab overs just really interests me. And I mean, think about all the access you have as well. It's kind of weird that's so like crunched together, like so small in the cab. But like, hey, you can just lift the whole cab, tilt it over, you have access to every part of the engine. That's pretty cool. Man, they got cars all the way up against the fence. Even a boat. Yeah, some of these cars, I'm not sure how you're supposed to get any parts off of them, but we're gonna walk through. Let's see. I didn't even bring any of my tools, but I told the guys up front, can I walk through the yard first to see, if we find anything that we actually want? And from there, we'll go grab our tools. That way, it's just easier for us to walk through it instead of having to carry around that wheelbarrow. Oh, here's the E46. That's not really a desirable one.
What is it?
It's just a 325, but no good parts on it. This is actually like almost, it looks very similar to the one, not sure if you guys watch Ed China, but he's been working on a Range Rover and it looks kind of similar to this, like body style wise. Except I'm pretty sure this one probably has less rust than the one that Ed China's working on. Camry. Nothing to see here. Wonder how many cars that is combined. I see a Mercedes back there as well. There's a lot of, how are you supposed to even get around? We're gonna have to walk. What would be really cool? If one day we're able to buy a property of this size and have our own personal U-Pull-It. Kind of like what we used to do when we first started the YouTube channel. If you guys remember watching any of those videos, we had like almost 4 acres of land and we had pretty much all the cars that we had were all cars that we were parting out. And then also some of the dealership cars that I had for the dealership that I was fixing up. And then we actually rented out the land, some of it, to a wrecking company that they could store some of their cars. But that would be really cool to do, just buy a property that way you don't have to pay rent on it and just put all the cars that I want, parts that I'll ever want off of any of them and just keep them. One can dream, right? That's actually a very achievable dream though. I could probably do that right now, start collecting. But I'm sure she wouldn't like that at our house. Have a whole junkyard full of BMWs.
We already do.
No, we don't. She said we already do. No, we don't. They don't even look anywhere like that. We only have one E46 that's like in the middle of being parted out. All right, here's the X3. Let's see. I think over here we might actually be able to find some all-weather mats. Wouldn't that be nice? No, there's nothing in here. Like right now is a good time to have a salvage yard if you're able to still find a lot of cars for cheap, because the catalytic converters are worth so much. Like if you find a car from the auction, you get it for like 800 bucks. You're gonna get 600, you might even get that $800 back just by cutting out those cats and selling them. So then you pretty much get the rest of the car for free. I mean, for performance stuff, who wants cats anyways, right? Man, there's a lot of cars. I was not expecting this many cars. Like, it goes way far that way and that way. All right. Well, we got like an hour before they close. And the entry fee over here was also $2 a person. It's an E38 pre-facelift, but it's got the projector headlights. Oh, they've yellowed quite a bit. Is this pre-facelift or is it facelift? I think it might be facelift. No, it's pre-facelift for sure. It's actually the same color as ours. We don't need nothing off of there though. Well, actually, we do. And here's another one. This one, I believe, is facelift. Yep. Oof. That does not smell good. If only y'all had smell-o-vision. But you know what's something that's actually pretty rare? These I don't even know what they call it, window shades. That would be a cool option for our cars to take it all out. So this will be all part like a door panel. I believe this is the IL, which is why there's so much more space out here in the back as well. So actually these door panels probably won't even fit our doors. But it would have been nice. Let's keep going. We need to establish a way. I think we should go down that way first, then we'll circle around and then come back. So let's keep walking further down. Here's the X5. We actually do need a silver hood off of an X5 for a buddy of mine. I don't see any all-weather mats. I don't know, today I'm really obsessed with trying to find some all-weather mats. I don't know why. Let's keep on walking. See if we missed anything back here. Man, I honestly am so surprised. They have so many cars. Like, by looking at their information and stuff, you would never think, like their listing on Google Maps and stuff like that, you would never think that they have this many cars. Oh, here's the E34. 525, so this has the M50. It's actually pretty complete. Let's see if the oil pan's still on it. Nope, oil pan's gone. So yeah, the oil pan's off of here. These M50 engines, you can use the oil pans to do like swaps into the E30s. So you can, you know, swap pretty much anything with that oil pan that would fit on there. So a lot of these oil pans are going for a good amount of money. So I'm not surprised that's not there anymore. I wish they had it more organized a little bit, you know, with all the BMWs in one section. Another S-Class. But I feel like this kind of area is where, should I say it? Where you might find some snakes.
Stop. Is that a snake?
Oh look, somebody's clothes. Clothes. Down here. Anything? Nope. You know, obviously there's money in all of this. You can always, you know, get stuff to sell. One thing I don't know about this yard in particular though is how much the parts cost. I didn't see any kind of paperwork or anything. So I'm not really sure how much stuff is going to cost. But for me, I'm just thinking of, you know, I'm not too worried about selling stuff. I'm also trying to find stuff that's cool that I could put on my cars. And, you know, we've got a bunch of E46s, E39. Actually, no, we don't have any E39s. We have an E38. And, you know, we've got E30, E36, E28. We got a lot of BMWs. And we got a lot of BMWs we want to buy in the future. So you never know. We might start collecting parts for those too if we find something cool. Let's keep on walking. Oh, that's a cool Audi. Those headlights are actually pretty cool. These A4 headlights. Like this yard is like the kind of yard that you will definitely miss stuff, because there's no way, I mean, there's not like any particular rows. So while you're walking by it, you know, you might miss a couple cars. I feel like every time we would come here, we'd probably find something different. But I don't see enough space for them to keep adding on many more cars. So they're probably gonna have to start getting rid of some. Here's the E39. 528i. Let's see if there's anything good. Oh, and a 745 right in front of it. You know, one thing I do feel like though, a lot of these mom and pop, you know, U-Pullets and stuff, I think they have a more like control. I don't think they, you know, buy as much inventory at one time. So I feel like they're probably able to take off parts that are actually worth some money and sell them like on eBay and stuff like that themselves. So I think they might actually be doing stuff like that at this yard. I mean, I know I would if I was running something like this. Especially like all the smaller stuff, like, you know, steering wheels, tail lights, stuff like that. That's so easy to sell online, that easy to ship. You don't really have to worry about, you know, paying too much for shipping. So that's the stuff that would sell pretty quick as well. You know, I used to own a Lexus GS. It was actually one of our dealership cars, and I actually drove it for a good amount of time. And honestly, it's a very comfortable car. We took it on a couple of road trips, and it's got a good enough amount of power. I mean, it's not like anything crazy, obviously, but it's very comfortable. And inside, like, you can be going 90, 95 on a rumbling road, and you wouldn't even be able to tell. You don't hear much, you don't feel much. And I mean, that feeling much is probably one of the reasons we like BMWs, because, you know, you actually get that driver's car feeling. Usually, you really don't get that with any of these cars. Even Volkswagens, Audis, and stuff like that is just not the same. And I have driven a lot of these cars, so I'm not just completely biased just because I like how BMWs look. I really like how they drive. That's more important to me, honestly. If it was all about looks, you know, all of our cars would be super slammed. Like, you wouldn't even be able to drive them at that point. Oh, here's a E39 wagon. I love wagons, man. Let me tell you, any car in wagon form besides the PT Cruiser looks amazing, honestly, especially when you lower it. I mean, some of these wagons stock, yeah, they don't look that good. But as soon as you get rid of that fender gap, it's a whole different ballgame. Some Volvos, another Mercedes. They have a lot of Mercedes here. You know, I really never got into Mercedes. You know, Mercedes has always held that stigma that it's more luxury oriented. And you know, I'm only 25. I'm not really into that luxury segment as much yet. I'm more into the performance segment. But I do have a feeling that maybe, you know, within like, maybe once we start having kids, I think we might get a couple of Mercedes, you know. I've got a very good buddy of mine, the guy that I actually, you know, started parting out cars at his place when I first got my first car. He always parts out BMWs. He has a lot of BMWs and stuff, but he always drove Mercedes because he liked to, you know, when he's going home and driving around, he likes that luxury, but he likes working on performance cars, and he had the best of both worlds at that point. But I don't think I'm at that level yet. Maybe we might pick up a Mercedes one day. I have had Mercedes, actually, I take that back. I've owned a couple Mercedes, but they were only for parts. They were never a daily or anything like that. I feel like Mercedes would be a really good daily, honestly. All right, let's keep going. Another 745. Kind of reminds me of like a Roach. What car is it that you always say reminds you of like a Roach? Was it the Dodge Magnum?
Yeah.
Is it a Roach? Is that what you say? It reminds you of a Roach?
Something like that.
Yeah. I kind of like the Magnums, honestly. You know, when I was in high school, I used to, before I started working on cars, I used to actually detail cars. And there was this guy that had a Dodge Magnum, and I did a lot of stuff for him. Like, that's the first car, that Dodge Magnum, that I helped install an aftermarket bumper. So we had to do all the fitment stuff and all that. And at that time, I think I was like 14 or 15. And he would always come like every weekend, like after he got off of work, he would just come over to my place and we would always do something on his Magnum. He would bring like a old comforter that he had. We would lay it down on the grass, and then we would just be putting all of the parts off of his car on it while we're taking it apart, while I was helping him modify it. That was actually really cool. I kind of forgot about that and all the madness of, you know, really actually working on cars. I forgot about my whole detailing career that I had for a couple of years back then. But yeah, that was crazy. I remember that now. It's all coming back. It's weird how you forget some, you know, parts of your life that, you know, get pretty much thrown into the shadows when something else major comes along. Really? This is like the, what, 15th Mercedes that we've seen? These 745s, you know, I'm really not surprised that there's so many of them here, because they are so cheap on any of the auction sites like Copart, IAA. They go for so cheap. I mean, there's no surprise, because they have a lot of electrical issues, a lot of mechanical issues, and I mean, that's just how it is. They don't look that good either, so nobody's really buying them to fix them up and keep them. All right. You know, a lot of people on previous videos, people are like, you know, I saw a couple of comments where people said, this guy just walking around salvage yard and talking. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty much what I am doing, honestly. I would love to take apart some cars and really get some stuff off of them, but I gotta think about it this way. If it's not something that I really need, or something that, you know, I can use in the future, or something that's worth a lot of money, it's not really worth my time. And this is kind of like a leisure activity for me as well, you know. We get to get out of the house, the shop, we get to walk around with all these cars, and maybe if we run across something, we can take it off. Otherwise, we get to at least see, you know, all these cars, make up stories in our head about what happened to them and how they got here. So that's not supposed to be, you know, this is supposed to be more for entertainment. But hey, you never know. If we find something, it might become more informative as well while we're pulling stuff off. Like, there's no way we could go wrong with any of these pull-apart videos. Because one other thing that I noticed, like, you know, on that other U-Pull-It yard that we went to probably like a month and a half ago, the one that had no inventory listed, so many people saw, like, you know, stuff that I totally overlooked. Especially in like the classic cars, so many people saw stuff that was actually worth some money, and, you know, stuff that looked really cool that, you know, I didn't know anything about. And reading the comments, you know, it's actually very informative for me as well. Let's see, there's a lot of Cadillacs. I really need to find an E28. I hope there's one over here somewhere so I can get the whole engine harness out of it. These are all Cadillacs. I think these are like all bigger SUVs and stuff. Not really seeing any imports in this area. What? What is this?
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's some kind of Ford, maybe? Is it a Ford? No, it's not a Ford.
Looks kind of cool.
It does look pretty cool. It's freaking massive. I really don't know what this is. I'm sure somebody knows. If you guys know what this is, comment down below.
Because I love the shape.
Because she loves the shape. It's a big body car. I think it might be like a Cadillac. Probably not a Ford. Because it's so big. All right, let's keep going back. That is most likely a Ford. That truck. Yep, it's a Ford. That's Ford blue right there. That's a really cool color. It's a Lincoln Town Car. Just look how comfortable those seats look. Those seats look like, you know, like those old couches and recliners that people have at their houses, and you just see it and you're like, oh, I could fall asleep in that. That is how those seats look. Okay, let's go further back all the way down there. This is so much more fun than dragging along that wheelbarrow with all the tools in it. I'd much rather just walk around. If they had free admission, you know, I would go there every day, just walk around and look at the cars instead of trying to worry about, you know, making sure you have the proper tools to take stuff off. Guys, I've been out of school for a little bit now. I'm losing my grammar. Don't really have to talk in a professional setting this much. You know, I need to start practicing how to talk. Like, what if one day somebody approaches me or whatever, wants me to do like a podcast or something like that? I'll be on the spot. People are ridiculing me with this hat. But guess what? It don't bother me none. That was bad too. Doesn't bother me at all. Come on, some all-weather mats. Nope. How cool would it have been if I said that and all of a sudden, bam. Okay, let's keep walking. I see a really cool, I think it's a SL back there. Is it an SL? I think I might have got that mixed up, but it might be. It is an SL. It's a 450 SL. My old neighbor back in California, his name is Mark. He's the one that had that Mustang that's on my channel. He was really a big fan of these cars. If you're watching, Mark, hi.
Wow.
Hi. Well, no, if you're watching, Mark, hopefully we'll see you very soon. You know, we haven't been back to California since we moved back. Of course, you guys know what happened last year. I don't think anybody went anywhere last year. And this year, we've just been trying to catch up. I think everybody's been playing catch up, actually. But hopefully very, very soon. I really do miss California, though. Don't really miss the 18-hour work days, but okay, maybe not 18, it was more like 16. But I definitely don't miss the 16-hour work days, especially because I never got anything done on any of my cars. And I was still working 16 hours a day, every day, even weekends, even holidays. And we didn't get to really film any, that much content, like stuff that we wanted to film, which we're trying to work on that even more now. And hopefully we're able to get out more content that we actually want to film, like enjoyable for both of us and for you guys. Speaking of which, here's an E46. I just walked through a spider web. So many spider webs. No all-weather mats. I see another E46 over there. We actually need some fenders. If that Alpine White is in perfect condition, then we will definitely get those. Car fenders are actually, they're not really dinged up, but all of the paint has been chipping off of the wagon's fenders because we've really been driving that so much ever since we moved back. And over here, there's always construction going on around everywhere. So there's a lot of rock chips and all of that. Like the bumper is not even white anymore. It's more primer, because of rock chips than it is white. Same thing with the hood. The whole front of the hood is all jacked up. Yeah, there's not really much here. There's one fender, but yeah, it's not in good condition. I mean, it could probably get polished up a little bit, but you can see how some of this paint's already burned through. Yeah, I'd rather just repaint ours at that point. Is that a 240? No, it's not. That's a Civic. How did I mess that up? It's because the quarter panel's missing, okay? Give me a break. Another E38. This one has the window things too. Wait, didn't we see this one? No, we didn't. This one has the window shades and it's an actual normal 740i. So this will fit our car perfect. But our E38 is beige interior. But I think that doesn't matter. I think if I just cut out a slit out of the door panel, we could probably make it work. Oh, you can see the mechanism. Let me show you guys how the mechanism is. So yeah, it's just like one of those rolly things. You can get like the portable ones. It's like the same thing. Oh, this one's There's glass on it, that's why. But you can see, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Imagine if they were electric. Oh. Yeah. I don't think anybody's coming to get that from here anytime soon. Here's the E39. No mats. There's a lot of clothes in all these cars. Well, here's the E60. This a 535 or a 528? 528. Here, ready? I'm gonna get made fun of again. Look at this Jaguar. It's a Jaguar. How are you supposed to say it? Jaguar? 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 Jaguar. Okay, you know what? It's a Jag. How about that? Simple. Ooh, look at that spider web. That's a big spider web. Wait, didn't we already see this car?
Yeah.
See if there's anything else hidden back here. Oh, talking about PT Cruisers. Here's two of them. Yeah, at least they don't have the wood paneling on these. There's another Land Rover back there. They said they had an E30. I don't see any. I haven't seen any E30s. I see an E39, I think. Well, haha, is that all-weather mat? No, it's one of the generic ones. Damn it! I thought it was a BMW one. Okay, I think we are at the end of it. Definitely not going in any of that. Oh, look, it's a Datsun. Man, I still regret selling my old 77 280Z, but we had to sell it before we moved from California because we didn't have enough space. Man. Yeah, but this is a ZX. Not too big of a fan of these. I actually like, you know, just the 280Z, 260Z, 240Z. I believe it's the S30 chassis. I don't really recall what this chassis code is, but not a big fan of those, but hey, still a Datsun. Why don't we buy a school bus or an ambulance and convert it into like a tiny home, and then we can just live wherever we want? How many other people are like that? Like for us, both of us, I'm so glad and lucky that we're both like this, where we stay somewhere for, like, you know, the first year is always very exciting, right? Because, you know, still everything is new. And then when that second year starts coming around, you start getting that itch a little bit, you know, where you're like, I want to see something new, or, you know, have that feeling again of being new to an area. And then when that third year comes around, then you're like, all right, we got to do something. And for us, we're at almost our second year of being here from California. So, you know, that itch is starting to come on pretty strong. When that third year hits, it's about to be a wrap, if you know what I mean. Oh, E90. Pittsburgh Steelers, nope, we're good. I'm just kidding. Let's see if there's anything in there. That looks a little sketchy going through here, but gotta do it for the video. Hopefully some all-weather mats. That's all I want. Please. Some all-weather mats. No. Let me get back out of here before something jumps out at me. Ouch! That hurt. I didn't think I was that tall. I just hit my head really hard on that freaking tailgate. Not even a tailgate. What is it? A trunk hatch? Trunk door? Whatever. Oh. I got this hat on, so it messed up my perception. Whoa. Oh look, babe, you want a Jeep? Have you ever wanted a Jeep?
No,
I've never wanted a Jeep either.
never.
So let me watch out before I hit my head again. What is this? That's cool. It's a Studebaker. I've never seen this. Isn't that cool? Still haven't seen that E30 though. Watch somebody point it out in the video. You know, it's really hard like to process all of this all at once when you're trying to just walk through it. I mean, you know, I really don't want to sit around and look at just one car for a long time. That way, at least there's something for you guys to look at as well. Hopefully it's a little bit more interesting while walking through here. Kind of becomes more like a game, like, you know, where you guys get to spot stuff or, you know, or you guys get to spot stuff that I didn't see. Honestly though, I think this is going to be so much more enjoyable when the weather comes, you know, cools down a little bit. So like in the next couple months, I think it'll be a lot more enjoyable and we'll actually be able to do more of these. Man, it's almost 5 o'clock. We haven't ate anything all day. Need to eat. Main reason we haven't ate all day is because, fun fact, we actually been to 3 pull-aparts today. The first one we went to in the morning, there was a big line outside. So I decided just to go in by myself because I actually needed stuff for that X5 ABS module. So I just went in there by myself and I went and got the ABS module. I actually found a steering wheel for one of our cars. So I picked that up as well. But that took almost like 3 hours. And then we went to the second pull apart and that one was just horrible. There were no lines, but they just didn't have anything. Even though on their website, it showed that they had a couple of new arrivals and those were not there. There was one, but it was already picked through. So that kind of sucked. So then we came to this one, which was close by, and now it's almost 5 o'clock.
What about that Wrangler?
Yeah, I actually almost walked past that. Or not almost, I did. I almost walked past this Wrangler. No, I think a Jeep would be fun to have. But I definitely don't see myself riding around in a Jeep doing daily activities or running errands. Like, I think if I had a Jeep, it would be to go off-roading or... I mean, because why else have a Jeep? You know, what's the point of having a Jeep with big old wheels and, you know, mud tires and or all-terrain tires and not go off-roading? It's like having a E46 with a LS swap and not taking it to the track.
It's like having 1,000 BMWs and not doing anything with them.
No, I mean that's a different situation.
No.
Okay, I mean I get it. I guess the people that spend all that money in their Jeep to lift it and put, you know, nice wheels and all-terrain tires, big old tires, I get it. It gets really expensive. By the time you're done in it, I mean, you're spending like 10, 15, maybe even more $1,000 into it. And if you take it off-road, you're just gonna scratch it up, you're gonna mess it up. So that's one thing. If I got a Jeep, I would not want to dump that kind of money into it. It would have to be something cheap. That way you could take it off-road and go on the trails. If it rolls over, it rolls over. I mean, who cares? And that's kind of how I feel about our E36 M3 right now. So we don't really have that much money into it. So I don't mind driving, you know, driving the crap out of it, literally. Like, I mean, I actually do launch that car and stuff, you know, because I'm not too worried about breaking stuff. Because if something does break on there, the whole car needs a repaint first of all. And ideally, I'm not a huge fan of the powertrain that's in it. I don't think it's quick enough. So I'm not really too worried if something breaks because that gives us an excuse to upgrade. Oh, this is actually a newer Range Rover right here. This is like a 2005, 6. I think this Range Rover actually shares almost everything with the X5 as far as the powertrain's concerned. Yep, I was correct. That's the same engine as the X5. It's got the same transmission. I think the suspension might be a little bit different. Obviously the inside, everything is mostly different. Range Rover just went above and beyond, and they have a lot of electrical issues, mainly because a lot of water actually gets into the harnesses, especially on like the passenger and driver floorboards, and that just wreaks havoc on the whole system. Okay, I think we're done here. You know, this was actually really fun. I really enjoyed this pull-apart yard. Even though we didn't get anything, it was still $2 for each of us to enter. But honestly, there's just so much cars. There's a lot of variety. You know, there is some stuff that I actually like that 7 Series, the E38 with the little shades and stuff like that. Now, that's something that I would definitely want to get for our E38. But Spotted Clothes, we literally have 10 minutes to get out of here. But we really enjoyed doing this. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. If you guys spotted anything that I didn't talk about, make sure you leave a comment down below. And I hope you guys watched the whole video, because we talked about a lot of stuff in this video, and there's a lot of little hints as to what our future holds, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes, but I will definitely see you guys in our next video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.